Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ngani Titan. This video has actually been sitting on my hard drive for quite some time. As the more astute of you would notice by looking at the active ops. So like I said, it's been sitting on my hard drive for quite some time and I've been wanting to show it because of a couple of things that happens in the course of the video, and I think it's a pretty decent game as well. We're on Liberty Falls, we're top tier. Liberty Falls is a bit of a limited map, really. It's a bit like an Aloof, except shorter ranges. You get sniping along the edge of the valley in the centre and spotting, and all the action, all the aggressive action is going to be at either end of the map. I've decided to go the 9 line this particular time. It's usually the less productive line, but I just wanted to do it for a change, see what it was like. But it is a direction I would only choose on a tank with a decent gun, because you're going to get installed here at the notch where the Chinook and the T-34-100 are waiting, because you have a very long open space, and if you're coming the other way the same applies, except the range isn't as great on this side. But you have a very long open space up to the top of the hill there. You have 400 metres or so of open ground, and unless you've cleared that area or you're pretty sure there's nobody there. Now there isn't a lot in the line of cover, and a speculative shot caused that Black Prince to move and reveal his position. Usually the action in this location settles down into a long range gunfight. The Black Prince is in a very strong position there. He's pretty much hull down and immune to any shots being fired at him, and the Chinook is sitting there in the open taking shots from him. And I'm not making any impression on him, and artillery has found our range, so you need to keep the tanks moving around here. Now the Chinook backed off, so if the Chinook get in sight, but that Jackson comes out, and when he fires he reveals his position. And he takes damage. I don't know whether he was tracked or the engine was damaged, but that Black Prince comes out straight away to cover the Jackson, and I think the player deserves a huge amount of kudos for that. Now, I don't think the Jackson deserved it. I think it was a bad location for the Jackson to be in, but I think the Black Prince player really deserves fulsome praise for sacrificing his tank like that to keep a teammate alive, and he has managed to keep the teammate alive, and he's still in the game himself despite the fact that he took an unmerciful pounding there. However, now that he's backed off, I'm going to take the opportunity to advance. There's one tank still firing up there, but I don't know if he can see me. I certainly can't see him, and there's an IS. Now the IS probably couldn't see me, but he will now that the T-34 has me spotted. But once I'm in here in the low ground, I'm reasonably safe because I'm in the shadow of the bridge from artillery, and I will probably get the turret of that IS in time. However, the T-34 is flanking us, and I can't afford to ignore him on my flank. The T-34 is, however, in a bad spot because he's very vulnerable to plunging fire from across the township on the other side. So I'm going to come up this side because there is currently no cover. The Jackson's just been taken out. It looks like the Black Prince tried to come down this way and got taken out as well, probably from the central ridge. And then the IS just does this mad suicide charge for no good reason other than he could. And we get rid of him. So there's a Tiger 131 left up there, and he thinks the better of the situation. And he takes a hit alright, but he's backing off, and he's already broken contact. That Tiger 131 will prove significant later on as well. So I've come up, there's no sign of the Tiger 131, but there is a wild T-67 who is doing stuff that a Tiger 131 was not willing to do, and is going to pay the price for it. And I've spotted one of the arties, the SU-14-1. Big fat Russian arty. This thing's absolutely huge. If I get close enough to it, he might need me able to shoot you, because he won't get the gun depression. I've switched to high explosives because I know there's arty back around here, and I'm willing to take my chances with other tanks. So we've almost gotten the SU-14. And the M41 HMC is making a run for it. Now I completely mess up here. I just failed to anticipate and time it right. And I'm way late with that shot. So I got chasing the arty. The tank destroyer I think has been taken out. So there's just the arty, and I just want the kill or the damage. And he's made at the corner before I get the shot off. And the Jagdpanther is going to beat me to it. At this point, it's looking really comfortable for our team. We have 5 tanks, and they've only got 3. As I suspected, by the time I got round the corner, the Jagdpanther has dispatched the artillery. And then we come back up the hill again. But there is a medium tank down near our cap circle, taking on our last tank destroyer, and he's just eliminated him. So I thought, right, okay, better defend the base. My reasoning is that we have to come up here. There's a Tiger 131 up here, and if he starts capping and the Tiger puts in the reset on both of us, which is very likely to do because it would take multiple shots from both of our tanks to get rid of a Tiger. So he's likely to reset any cap that we start and keep us, should we say, occupied until such time as his ally had completed the cap on our side. So I felt a bit guilty about the Panther because I knew the Panther's chances of surviving against the Tiger wasn't great, especially since he had so few hit points. The Tiger has the mobility and the penetration to deal with the Jagdpanther. The advantages are very much on the Tiger's side, so the Jagdpanther really should have retreated towards me. So forced the Tiger to, or the Tiger 131 to come out this direction, so we could both shoot at him, and we'll also take him out in the buildings, so the artillery would actually have a clean shot at him as well. Since we have 2 artillery now, one of the artillery's gone in for direct support, and that was a mistake on his part. So this guy has 48 seconds left. So yeah, I think my decision was the correct one. So let's see what's up here and how much health has he got left. There's a champion, which is a Panther variant, and I don't know what happened to that shot, but it didn't reset the gap. That one did. And I switched back to armor piercing because don't want another incident or anything like that. I want to finish this guy off. But I do take a couple of hits from doing it. So now I'm here, and the Tiger 131 looked like he was chasing our artillery. So I go to the ridge line as quickly as I can because I was hoping I'd spot him. I thought he might take the highway because that would be the quickest route, but it looks like he didn't. And I wasn't sure. I thought at this stage that maybe he'd gone down into the low ground and was actually taking the 9 line in pursuit of the artillery. And I thought I might get a shot at him as he was passing if the artillery managed to spot him crossing the river. But the artillery reaches this side without spotting him, so I reckon he's not... well, he's either down. He hasn't crossed the notch because the artillery would have seen him. So I thought maybe he might come back up around the lakeside here. Therefore I came back out. So I come out here and wait for a bit. I thought there was a chance that he might cross the valley. Or I might see him if he goes along the edge of the waterfall. So after a while though, I'm not too sure what way he's come. So I thought that maybe he waited a while and decided that he might come down the notch again. And maybe it was a double bluff. I was still thinking he'd probably be at this side of the map. That he wouldn't go all the way up by the falls, because if I had crossed immediately after getting rid of the champion and went for the cap circle, he could find himself in a location where he wouldn't get back in time. So I didn't think he'd taken that route, so I thought I came over here anyway, and he's not here. So he hasn't come this way, so I thought, right, I'm going to go for the cap circle. So I was thinking of going through the notch, but then I thought, no, I better stick into the open valley. It's riskier, but it's also gives me the opportunity of spotting him if he's anywhere around. And if I spot him, there's 2 of us. Like at some levels, all I need to do is keep him spotted and let the artillery finish him off if he's in a suitable location. So I've come around this way, there's no sign of him. And I'm beginning to wonder where he is and getting increasingly concerned, shall we say, because I've no idea now what he's done or where he's gone. He could have gone back into ambush mode around the cap circle, which I thought was another thing he might have done, because he seemed to play it defensively earlier on. But then he pops up at the southern end of the map, and I think he might actually have doubled around and come back down to one line. However he's done it, he was right at the back of the map there and moving east. He was right at the back of the map there and moving east when we spotted him first, so whether he had come around this way and I'd missed him or what exactly, I don't know. But he was after the artillery, he wasn't aware that I was in the vicinity, and I managed to get a round into him. I've got a second round into him, but I've taken fire in return. And that one, I think, hit my tracks, but the artillery has managed to put a round into him. We've done some damage in the ram, and we finish him off, so that's it. It's not your day, Tiger 131, and we get the game. So, final results. Decent amount of silver, a lot of XP. 2,680 damage, not a lot of assisted, but I wasn't active out there. Second class mastery and a defender medal. So, how do we do? We got first by experience, and Tiger 131 was gunning for a devastator in that game there if he got the two of us. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you again soon.